I'm being a little crazy right now. Could you maybe like calm down? I don't think you're going to, and I don't appreciate that. You little silly boy. Silly boy! Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Tuesday, June 11th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. Hello. I have various social medias that you can follow me on. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Ravelry. I also have an adorable, very spunky co-host today. He is getting into all sorts of trouble. I'm filming earlier than I normally do, so it's during his Zoomy time, and he's like really into the fact that I'm over here right now. If you want to get up to or see what I get up to during the week when I am not recording, Instagram is the place to be. I have show notes, so links to things that I will be talking about will be on my blog, which is linked down below if you are on YouTube, or if you're on my blog already, everything is already there. What is your problem? What is your problem? Oh my goodness. It's one of those things where like he's never interested in these things over here until I'm over here, and then apparently this turns into the most fascinating thing ever. Wow, okay. Whoopsies, we had a little bit of a tumble there. Anyway, I am a knitting pattern tech editor. If you know of someone who is in need of or is interested in having a tech editor for their upcoming knitting patterns, I would love to work with you. You need to send me a message on Instagram, or you can check out the Graceful Edits tab, which is on my blog, which is there. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to send me a message. I'm gonna try not to be distracted by him. We have quite a lot of knitting to talk about, people. I was pretty productive, and yeah, we'll just get right into it, shall we? It's early in the morning. I just finished my workout and general cleaning around the house, so I am still focusing on hydration, because that's important, because it's hot and I sweat a lot today, so we're going to replenish the hydration. So that's what I'm drinking right now. If you would like to grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, what are you doing? An animal to snuggle or to laugh at if they're being a little chicken. Maybe you're folding laundry, maybe you're resting, and I hope it is bringing you joy, or I'm helping you get through a task that you're not a fan of. I have laundry to fold later, so I have a queue of YouTube videos to watch while I do that. You can do all those things, none of those things, whatever it may be, and you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. So, everyone, how and why was I so productive? I don't know, but I'm not complaining. That's not true. I do know, so last week I caught a cold. I still have a little bit of congestion, so I apologize that I sound different than I normally do. But I felt like it was just like allergies looming over me, over my head, and then it just eventually turned into a cold, and thankfully I was able to kick it pretty quickly, all things considered. But I have not had a cold in a long time, it feels like, and so I was not a fan. Also, summer colds are the worst. And I have talked to several people recently about it, of like the opinion of having a cold in the summer is just so much worse than having a cold in the winter or when it's cool outside. It's just like, I hate it so much. I don't know if you feel that way, but that is how I feel. So it's just my opinion. So I did have some time to rest and be on the couch, and did get a lot of knitting done. I didn't get as much knitting as I was thinking I would get done, just because I was feeling so crummy. But that's okay. You know what? I mean, all things considered, what I'm about to show you, I'm very proud of what I did. And Rusty is too. He was my little nurse. He's found a new place to go and hide, and I'm not really a fan of it, so we may have to do something about it, but... What are you doing? Hey! 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 What are you doing down there? What are you doing? What are you doing? I have a box of bigger project bags and like tote bags and things that don't fit in the... Oh my. Child, what are you doing? Oh no. This is not good. If you can sleep there, that's fine, but if you're gonna play with everything and cause a muck, run amok, whatever it is, hell up. Don't chew on that, please. Oh my. Since now I'm like really up on including pictures, I'm gonna include a picture around this general area of where he is. Okay, I really don't know what you're chewing on, and this really doesn't, I don't like this, okay? See, the problem is some of these bags have like tassels and like drawstring things, which is what he's playing with. Ultimately not a problem, but I just don't want him to like destroy things. Which he could do. Oh wow, now we're chewing on that bag. Wow, right out in the open. I'm sorry, don't chew on that. Do not chew on that, you child. I love him so much. It's a good thing he's cute. So, everyone, I have 2 finished objects, one of which you have seen, one of which you have not seen at all. What? What? I am very excited. I also have some yarn acquisitions to share with you. I have also just discovered I have a mosquito bite. That's not fun. Oh well. I did finish my All the Frills socks by Summerly Knits. This was a very mini knit along with my mom. She cast on a pair of her own pair of All the Frills, also when she was not feeling well, but that was like the week before I was not feeling well, I think, roughly. And mine are done. They're ready to wear, and I love them so much. I'm so happy with how they turned out. So as you can see, it's just kind of like a shorty sock with this frilly top on the top of the cuff, and then you got some ribbing, and then you go straight into the rest of the sock, which is really nice. So they go very quickly. Honestly, once you get the frill done, the frill is really the hardest part, and I mean ribbing. My ribbing is slower than my normal knitting, which I think is fair to say of a lot of people. So once you get past like the cuff and the frill, it is smooth sailing, and these socks go by lickety-split. The yarns that I use, the contrasting little tip and the toes, are Knit Picks Stroll in the Coral Heather, I think it is. I have it linked on my Ravelry page. And now you're just laying on my foot because you are just so cute. And you're probably going to attack the tripod, aren't you? Because that's just what you do. You can sniff my other foot. How about that? The main color, I am so happy with how it has turned out. Unfortunately, I cannot remember the colorway name, and I'm so sorry. But this is from Big Sky Yarn Company. I was gifted one of these, the skein, many years ago, and was saving it because I just love the color so much. It kind of, because of the pink and the blues and the purples and all that kind of stuff, it kind of reminds me of a jellyfish a little bit. I think it's so cute. So we got some beautiful speckles in there. I knew it. You're gonna attack the tripod. I knew it. We have like this stool that it's a footrest of a chair set that I'm sitting on currently that I move, and it's over here normally. So Rusty likes to hide under it, but now he can't hide under it because I'm sitting on it and it's not in its normal spot. So I think he's confused by that, but that's okay. Now he's laying on my feet again. Anyway, I have a finished pair of socks. I'm so excited. All the frills. I really enjoy this sock pattern. This is my second time to make it, and we'll be making many more in the future. I feel like it's a nice pair of socks to gift, really, because you're not committing to like a full-on pair of socks with like a really long leg, and it's a little bit more pizzazzy than a regular pair of shorty socks, and they're just super cute. And these types of socks apparently are very popular right now, so that's nice as well. And they will also look cute in the fall here anyway, because it's not super cold. Right. So yes, all the frills by Summerly Knits. The yarn is Big Sky Yarn Company and Knit Pick Stroll. So yay, I've got a finished object. My next finished object, everyone, you have not seen, and it's not blocked and the ends have not been woven in. I finished it last night, so if you want to be really technical, technically not completely finished, but all the knitting is done, so I am counting it as a finished object. I knit this in 4 days. I cast this on Friday, in the evening, afternoon. Yeah, like late afternoon. So it wasn't even like a full 4 days. If you have been in the knitting world, the crafting world, really, but specifically the knitting world and on Instagram for any amount of time, you may have come across the wonderful Rebecca Clow of the Crayabea. She is a very prolific pattern designer. She's come out with several patterns recently that are just like the perfect staple, nothing super fancy, but it's a canvas to kind of create whatever type of top you want. She just gives you the numbers and the general construction, and you can plug whatever else you want in there. The options for sizing and adjusting with shaping and things like that she gives is quite extensive and very impressive, and how it's all laid out, because there's so much information that she gives you, is also very impressive. It's very well organized, it's very clear, and her patterns are very well written. So if you are familiar with her, you would probably be aware that the Tulsa Tank just came out. And I now have a finished Tulsa Tank in navy. And I am over the moon with how this turned out. Everyone, this was such a spur of the moment cast on, and I played some yarn chicken and I won, and I was so happy. I am so happy with how this turned out, and it fits beautifully pre-blocked, and it's gonna fit even better once I block it, and I am so excited. So the tank came out, and I was seeing all the testers. There's so many beautiful versions that the testers did, and I was so inspired. And one of them came across my feed and then also popped up again because I was watching Becky's podcast of A Handmade Letter, and she tested it and had knit it out of Drops Bell, which is a very wonderful summery yarn. It's a good price point. It's got a lot of colors. It's cotton, linen, and viscose, and I happen to have 2 sweater quantities worth ish. 2 different colors of Drops Bell in my stash. And seeing Becky talk about hers and like talk about the process and like shaping and like all that kind of stuff, I was so inspired. And then seeing everybody else's online, I was even more inspired. So I just walked over here, grabbed my 8s, grabbed the yarn, and cast on. So thank you to everybody who inspired me. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate the inspiration that you gave me to knit a Tulsa tank, and I am so happy with how it turned out. I did size 3, and I also did the bust shaping, which I have never done before, but taking the measurements that were recommended in the pattern, it was very clear that I should make the size D for the D cup. And so I did that, and it fits so well. So good. It's just your regular tank top type top. It's super cute. It's a little longer than I normally do, which is really nice, and I didn't want it to be super cropped. I wanted it to not be cropped. I mean, it's still relatively cropped, but not as cropped as some of my other things that I've made. And I know that with blocking, it will also grow a little bit. But yeah, it practically knit itself. It was so easy to knit. But yeah, I cast on the body, got probably halfway through before doing the bust shaping. And then on Saturday, this past Saturday, was Worldwide Knit in Public Day. So Sam and I went to our neighborhood pool, and because it's cotton and linen and viscose, it was like perfect really to knit outside when it's hot by the pool. And so it was just perfect. I was knitting around in the round of the body, and I was just knitting, going to town, and I was knitting in public, and it wasn't super busy, but it was busy enough that there was like fun people watching, and I was listening to a summary audiobook, and it was like, this is wonderful. I love this. And I didn't get a sunburn, and I'm really grateful for that, because it's very easy for me to do. Though I try my hardest to avoid it, it's very very easy. I know a lot of people will relate to that. But anyway, so I got a lot of knitting on this at the pool, which was super fun. I knit on this yesterday and Sunday, obviously, and I got it done. So I have a finished summery tee. This is my first summer top of the year. I'm very excited about that. It has kind of opened up the floodgates in my mind of what I want to make. Summer wise, obviously I have mentioned the Rift tee using my merino linen yarn from Heather Handmaids that I just got a couple months ago. And there's some other things that I really want to make. I've got my other sweaters quantity worth of drop spell. As for my yarn chicken, this was all that I had left, which, I mean, in theory of like how big these little mini skeins are, they're 50-gram balls. I'm not truly a game of yarn chicken, I guess, but I was unsure if I was gonna make it, and I had a plan if I didn't make it, but I did, and this is all I have left. So I feel really good about that. I could use this. The other color that I have is kind of like a sagey olivey green, which I really like, but it goes really well with navy. So if I wanted to like edge anything or whatever, I could do that, because the downside of having leftovers of like heavily cotton, mostly cotton yarn, is that you can't really use them in scrappy projects that are mostly wool. You can, it is not suggested, but so I have a place where this could go. So I'm actually going to toss this over there where the rest of the yarn is. So yeah. Again, this is the Tulsa tank. This is the vest. I think this is the vest version. Within the Tulsa Tank pattern, there are 3 different options, and I have plans, I have thoughts about making the other options, which is very exciting. I would love to make another one of these. So easy. Like, again, practically knit itself. It was so straightforward. And I really just enjoyed working on it, so. Still needs a block, still needs to have the ends woven in. Most of the ends are woven in already, but there are a few that didn't get woven in as I went. And that's okay. So, I love this. I'm so excited. You should go get your copy of the pattern. There's also the Tulsa tee. Also, the pattern has DK weight options and also fingering weight options, which I believe Rebecca called the 4-ply option. So if you want to make a woolly version, you can. You don't have to. You have the option, but you do have different yarn weights. Which again, like, you have the seemingly millions of sizing possibilities and shaping possibilities. You have the yarn possibilities of it being DK weight or fingering weight. You have the 3 like neckline versions that are all different. To put that all in one pattern and it not be confusing is just a feat in and of itself. So I would highly recommend getting this pattern. It is very well put together. Good pattern. Good beginning pattern, I would say. If you are wanting to make a summer top, and you are new to sweater making, this is a really good one. I would highly recommend it. So, Tulsa Tank by the Cray Drop Spell in navy. Can't wait to wear it. I'm so excited. Okay. So those are the 2 finished objects. Now we are moving along to the works in progress, and I've got 4 with me. 3 of them I've actively been working on, one of which I believe is gonna be thrown into the rotation, which I'll talk about in just a second. But it's nothing new. We've seen it recently. So I did finish. I don't remember if I had finished it last time. If I have, I'm so sorry, but I do have my heel toe do-si-do socks by Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady. This is knit out of mustache self-striping yarn in the Eras colorway, which each stripe represents one of Taylor Swift's eras, one of her albums, which I love. This is awesome. My contrasting cuff, heel, and toe are another Knit Picks Stroll. This is a tweed version, and last time I was confused on the colorway name, and the ball of yarn is over there. It's in my Ravelry notes. So I had finished that one, and I have started the second sock. Bam, bam, bam. So not too much really to show, but this didn't exist last time we chatted, so there is that. That second sock syndrome, though, it'll get ya. It'll get ya. So the key is just to cast on immediately after finishing the first sock. That is usually the hardest part. Usually that and the cuff, honestly. Depending on what color I'm using, I'm like, ooh, I really don't want to do that. And because this is brown compared to all the fun colors, I was like, oh, I don't want to knit this brown cuff. That's boring. But of course I have to at some point, otherwise I'm just never going to knit the song. So thankfully I just did it. And I'm now plugging along. So that's really good. I love this pattern so much. It creates kind of this chevron pattern. It's a super easy 2-row repeat. One of the rows is a completely knit row, so that makes it very easy. Once you get the pattern established, and if you are good at reading your knitting, smooth sailing indeed. Becomes very apparent where you need to do all the things and decrease in yarn overs and all that kind of stuff. So it looks so good with self-striping yarn. It looks so good, and I love this yarn so much, and I just love it so much. We have made plans, my mom, my sister, and myself have made plans to be going to DFW Fiber Fest this year in September. I can't remember the specific dates at this moment, but it's kind of in the middle end of September, which is very exciting. We'll actually be taking some classes, which is very fun. I have not done that before. And what made me bring this up is that Stacy of Mustache Yarn is actually going to be there, which I am so excited, and there's so many other incredible indie dyers and makers that will be there, and teachers that we'll get to see and to meet for the first time, or to see and say hello to again, which is very exciting. So I need to knit up all my, not that I can wear these socks theoretically in September, it's gonna be really hot, but that's okay. I'll have the socks and I'll know that I'll have knit them, and yes, because I've got 2 other skeins of Stacy's yarn that I got for my birthday that I really want to knit up. So things to plan for, things to plan for. This kind of goes into this project that I haven't worked on recently, and I was gonna say that for the last bit, but because it kind of goes with what the DFW type of things, I'm gonna share it now, because DFW, any type of Fiber Fest, really is a time to buy yarn, which is no surprise. And oftentimes it is a situation where you go to a fiber festival and you get such incredible yarn. It's just so beautiful and it's just so incredible. And then you may knit some of it, you may not knit some of it, it still may be sitting on your shelf, and then the next Fiber Fest rolls around and you're like, oh, I still have quite a bit from the previous Fiber Festival that I need to knit, and I would like to, in theory, kind of decrease this collection of yarn that I've had for a while and needs to be knit, because I did get it and I thought it was really exciting then and I really want to knit it now, but I'm also going to another Fiber Festival where I'm going to be getting more. I'm over explaining this. I know that this is a very common thing for a lot of people who attend Fiber Festivals. But that's okay. That's why we have our beautiful collections of yarn, you know. So, because of that, I was chatting and FaceTiming with my mom yesterday, as we are often to do. And we sit and we knit together in the afternoons a few days a week, which is very nice. But we were talking about the DFW Fiber Fest and just this discussion of knitting things that we had purchased from the Rhinebeck weekend last year, and knitting those things. So my mom, my sister, and I have kind of started this another mini knit along of taking things that we had gotten from Rhinebeck, or the Rhinebeck weekend, and trying to finish those, or at least finish one thing before September, when DFW is. So I had pulled out all the things that I had from Rhinebeck and discovered that, oopies, we are losing stitches here. Oh no. This will not do. There we go. And discovered that there were quite a few like single skeins that I had that would be part that I have plans for bigger projects, and I wasn't really wanting to cast on a big project at the time. It's either that or socks. which is fine. There are a few things that I was thinking about casting on, but also I have 2 sweaters that I got from the Rhinebeck weekend. They're on my needles and I really just need to work on them. So I am pulling back out my tessellated vest by Andrea Mowry with my Feederbrook Farms, my Kelborn Woolens Scout, and my Knitting for Olive mohair. The Feederbrook Farms is the only thing that really theoretically came from the Rhinebeck weekend. It came from the Maryland Sheep and Wool Fiber Festival, and the other 2 have just been supplemented from Maker and Stitch because we love them. So I just need to make progress, really. We love it. It's great. It's gonna be very warm. I do have the problem with the ribbing, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to keep on going and just kind of work through the pattern, and it will be all fine. And it's on the bigger needles now, or the longer needles, and it's on needles that they don't catch the yarn. It should be smooth sailing. The other project that I have on my needles that I need to assess and think about greatly is my boucle sweater from Fashion School Dropout in the Hello Mrs. Dunn colorway, which is inspired by Daisy Jones and the Six. I didn't bring that over here with me. It's over there. It's currently a very V-neck raglan by Jessie May. And if you have seen previous episodes where I bring that up and I've talked about it, it has been an amalgamation of the pattern and my own creation. And if I'm being completely honest with myself, and I know in the past episodes I've said things like, this is gonna be incredible and I'm gonna make it exactly what I want and this is going to be so amazing and I'm gonna love it. We're gonna have a vulnerable moment. I think I was wrong. I think I was wrong. I don't think I made a good pattern choice, unfortunately, and it has nothing to do with the pattern, it has nothing to do with the yarn, it's just the combination for me personally, and what I was looking for is not the best. And I think that means that I need to frog it and start over and pick a different pattern and make a sweater that I really am truly gonna love, because there are certain things about the fit of the sweater, the boucle sweater, and I'm saying all this having not seen it or pulled it out recently, so I'm just going off of memory. There are some issues of the fit that I couldn't have fixed because it happened too early on in the knitting process and I didn't realize until afterwards, and so there was very little I could do about it. And though in my mind I was trying to make it work and I was trying to be positive and I was trying to do all this and I thought it would work, I was wrong. You know, so I share all this to encourage you if you've made these decisions of projects and later on down the line you're like, why did I decide that? Why did I think that would work? It happens to the best of us. I've been knitting for a very long time at this point. I've had a lot of yarny experiences and you'd think that I would have made the right choice, but I did not. And that's okay. You know what? It's just a creative process. There's no deadline for this. I don't have to get it done by September. I'm not going to be wearing it in September, honestly. And the main goal is to create something that I'm going to love wearing and not constantly be looking at it while I wear it, in theory, if I finished it now, and being like, wow, there are parts of this that I wish I had done better and I do not like how this fits. and then I never wear it. And I love the yarn. The yarn is like one of my favorite purchases from that weekend. I love that yarn. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna frog it. And I don't know what I'm gonna make. There have been also, a side note, like there have been, while I've been working on this, and what am I trying to say? It's a situation where, like, if you're looking at a certain type of car to buy, or if you get a certain something, and then before you didn't see a lot of them out and about in the wild, in public, and then you get this certain thing, and then all of a sudden they're like everywhere. You're noticing them, right? I feel like while I was working on that sweater with the boucle, I was seeing so many other sweaters being knit in boucle by people that I follow and love their knitting and their style and just everything that they do on Instagram. And their boucle sweaters were turning out so nicely. And in my mind, I was like, why is mine not turning out that way? I just want that for me. So I have to accept the fact that I did, I haven't wasted time. It was a learning process. I learned things. I figured out things. So it's not wasted time. Is it a lot of time, knitting time, that I'm now going to take out? Yes. But it's going to be worth it. And we were in the knitting group that I hang out with on Mondays. We were just talking about that yesterday, of just like, you have these sweaters that you've made, and yes, it was a fun experience, or it wasn't quite the experience that you wanted, or whatever, but it resulted in a sweater that you don't like to wear. And life is too short to wear things like that. Even non-knitted things, honestly. Like, life is too short to wear clothes that you don't like. Unless you absolutely have to, like it's a uniform or something. Life is too short to wear things you don't like, or that don't make you feel good, or confident, or happy, or whatever you want to feel. Life is too short. So you just have to, unfortunately, swallow the maybe pain, the sadness with like the time that you knit these things, but know that you're going to make something that you really love, and that is the main goal. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, and you're going to love it. And that's, again, the main goal. I can say this so many different ways, and I'm going to ramble about this, so we're going to kind of rein this in. Long story short, I'm going to frog the V-neck out of the boucle. I'm probably just going to knit from the sweater because that's easiest for me. I'm going to do research. I will pick a good pattern, and I will report back next time I record. So that is my Rhinebeck knit along, post Rhinebeck, pre DFW knit along with my mom and my sister. Excuse me. My tessellated vest, which I did frog as well, and here we are. You know, it's okay. It's okay. We're not perfect. We can't be perfect crafters. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna make the wrong choices, and it's okay. We just take it out and we start over. Maybe something else. Maybe a different size. It's okay. It's all fine. So if you have a pile of things that you've been thinking about frogging, or if you just like don't feel good about it anymore, I feel like it's a sign. This is a sign to you. Just put on a TV show, put on a YouTube video, put on a movie, and just frog those things. Because that yarn can be used for something else, and that is exciting. That is very exciting. There is nothing wrong with restarting projects. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're a bad crafter. It doesn't mean that it's never gonna work out. That particular situation and that particular combination didn't work for you, and that's okay. I'm saying all this to you as much as I'm saying it to myself, because I am gonna be sad about frogging this, because I spent so much time working on that thing, and it's not time wasted. I learned, it was an experience, and we're growing from it, and it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna move on, and it'll be wonderful. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate it. A round of applause. Yay, yay, yay. It's just, yeah. Again, life is too short to knit things that you don't like to wear and that you don't like knitting. So don't. Just don't. Another confession. Sometimes while I record, when I take little breaks in between, I make the poor decision to go on Instagram and I get distracted and then just scroll for longer than I like to admit. I've just done that. So now you know that that's sometimes what I do. On accident. That's not my intention. And it's only a poor decision because I need to keep on moving. So, next up, everyone. I've made so much progress with my Elton pullover by Joji Locatelli. I am over the moon with how this fits. And I think very briefly I talked that subject to death, so I apologize. But just to go back to poorly fitting garments and things that you make for yourself, I'm reminded of how well things can really fit when I actually take the time and like really take it slow. It's not supposed to be a speedy process, you know? So the fact that I have things that don't fit well and then I have things that do fit well, and it's like, oh wait, I remember the things, I can do this. I mean, it has me questioning everything. I am capable of picking the right size and things and patterns to get a good fit. It is possible. And the fit of this Elton cardigan, so good. And when it is blocked, it will be truly stunning. I'm so excited. I am so excited, everybody. I finished the body. Can we even? I finished the body. And I played Yarn Chicken. It's just the era of era of Yarn Chicken. Why did I say time? I don't know. Whatever. So all I have left is the sleeves, and if you watched the previous episode where I talked about it, I was running out of my Surrey and had made the decision to just knit the sleeves plain in the fingering weight that I had, which I'm very happy with doing because I have so much more of that, and I ran out of my Surrey. I had just maybe like 12 inches, maybe 20 inches of the Surrey left when I finished my final round of Surrey. I was so close, but we made it work, and it turned out so well, and I'm so happy with it. The yarn is from the Gilmore Girls collection from Sewrella. I have I Will Follow as my fingering weight, and then the Surrey, which is kind of a variegated color, is the Dragonfly in. And I think they are paired so well. I am so happy with this, how this has turned out. I've already done the neck, obviously. Well, I guess I hadn't done the neck last time we had chatted, so I did the neck. And I decided to do the neck because I did the ribbing on the bottom on a 4. Well, look at me. I actually sized down to do my ribbing. I don't always do that. But I really want this to be perfect, and, or not perfect, but I really want it to have all those little details, because this is a special project, and so since I have my 4s there, I just went ahead and did the neckline. But yeah. All I have left are the sleeves. I'm gonna get as much as I can out of this last ball of yarn, which I think is very, very doable. I would, in theory, like to have like at least a 3/4 length sleeve, if not full. Just because when I'm gonna be wearing this, I know I would prefer to have longer sleeves, just for my preferences. So it is another really good beginning sweater pattern. If you've done raglans and top down things and you want to try a different construction, great pattern to do that. It's very well written. It's a Hohi Locatelli, so it's wonderful. And I am so happy with it. I think the colors are just absolutely stunning, and I cannot wait to wear it. So now it's just sleeves, and it's just going to be knitting around and around and around and occasionally having a decrease, and I am very excited. Also, side note, it lines up really well because there's a few K-dramas that I'm very excited that are coming out soon on Netflix, and we love mindless knitting so I can focus and read the subtitles. You know, it's truly the best. So I'm very excited about that. Not very much else to say. I think everything should be in my Ravelry page. So sorry I don't have more to say, but I'm just loving it. It's soft like a cloud, like a pillow. I would love to just fall asleep on it, you know. I'm also tired, apparently. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I even have my needles in here. Oh, actually I have this was all I had left of my Surrey. Well, that was all I had left. I'm so proud of that. So proud. It worked out so good. It is something so satisfying. Like, I love a good scrappy project, don't get me wrong. I love having little bits and pieces left over from things, goodness knows. But there is something so rewarding and so satisfying when you can use every little bit of the yarn that you're using and there's like nothing left over. Not enough to use or anything, and it's just like, ooh, I did so good with that. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one. That one was good. Maybe that's just me, I don't know, but I get a definite sense of like satisfaction and joy and pride when that happens to me. It's like, ooh, I don't have to add to my shelves. This is really exciting. I've got enough already. I don't need to add to it more than necessary with those little bits and pieces. So very proud of that. Next up is another pride and joy. When I say I am so proud of this project, I am so proud of this project. This is living in my orange cat bag, which is a gift from a friend, a Christmas gift from a friend last year, 2 years ago. And this is my steeked cardigan that I'm doing as a knit along with a couple of friends. The goal is to do a steeked item. So they have their steeked things they're making and I'm making mine. But the commonality is the steek. Also, I do apologize. Last time I said that the designer of this cardigan that I'm knitting, Kate Oates, was the same designer who had designed the Owl's pullover, which was really popular. That is incorrect. It's not Kate Oates who designed it, it's Kate Davies, who's a different person. To be fair, they do have the same first name, but I was incorrect about that. So I do apologize. That was incorrect information that I shared, and I'm sorry. But I was thinking about that as it was uploading to YouTube. So all the editing had been done and everything had been taken care of, and I was like, oh no, I think I was wrong. And I was wrong, but it was just so much editing to do, and it was already late and whatever. So I apologize. I just want to say that now. The designer of the Owls pullover is Kate Davies. The designer of the cardigan that I'm currently knitting is Kate Oates. Both are wonderful designers, but they're different designers. So here is my Eve's cardigan by Kate Oates. I'm almost done with the color work. I've got 2 little motifs left, and I am just, I know I've said this before about other projects, but there's just something about when everything comes together and it's just like, ooh, I did so good with that. That's just so good. I'm so happy with this. Everyone, can we even look at that color work? Oh my goodness. It is a labor of love, don't get me wrong, but I have loved every single minute of working on this project, and I am gonna be so sad when this color work is over. So the main color that I'm using is Kelborn Woolen's Camper. The fingering weight one, I can't remember. I always get Scout and Camper confused. I'm pretty sure it's Camper. But it's the fingering weight one, whatever it is. The navy is also Kelborn Woolen's Scout or Camper. The white is Cascade Heritage. This rust color is Sparrow Yarns, Sweet Sparrow yarn. The brown, which is not too prominent but is still there, is Lannis Light from Barocco, and then I've got a Suburban Stitcher in there. That's very hard to see probably on camera, but you can see it's in this little section, and I believe it's the Rosewood colorway. So all stash. I'm using more colors than the pattern calls for. And like I said, I've got 2 motifs left. I've got something similar to this flower situation, and then I've got a different one that kind of mimics that, but it's not quite the same. And yeah, so I've got my steeks for my sleeves on either side. You can see here. Oop. Ta-da, right there. And then I've got my steek on my front, which you can, that's not the front. This is the front. The steek that you can see there. Ta-da! It is so satisfying. I am so excited about this. And also, everybody, we love a good floats situation. What? Like, that is so satisfying. I just can't. I can't. Everyone, I am so happy with this. This has turned out so well. Double pats on the back for me. In my opinion, I think I've done really good. So once I'm done with the color work, it is just knitting a tube, basically. So until I get to the ribbing, and then there's some interesting ribbing with some cables and things, which I'm kind of looking forward to. And then the sleeves are plain and also have the cabled ribbing at the bottom. But after I'm done with the color work, the next difficult thing is the steeking. So I get like a nice break of knitting miles and miles of stockinette in the round. And again, we go back to the K-dramas that are coming out with subtitles, and I need mindless And this is going to be mindless. I'm so excited. So excited. It looks so good. I hope it's coming across on camera or on your TV or your monitor or whatever you're watching this on, because in person, in my opinion, it looks so good. The colors I picked magically went together. I was very unsure, but I just went with my gut, and it's gonna be so good. So good. And I'm not quite sure what exactly how I'm going to do my steeks, whether it's going to be the crochet method or the sewing machine method. I do have a sewing machine, so I can use that. But we will see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm not going to worry about it too much for right now, and it's not even really a worry. Like, I know it'll be fine. I'm not worried. It'll be okay. So, the Eves cardigan by Kate Oates. I love it. So good. I did actually just see, she posted an Instagram post a couple days ago, or maybe even yesterday. It was about, it was a similar construction with some similar, like, Fair Isle colorwork type looking thing, and it was clearly a steeked sweater, and it was mentioning that it was like her Rhinebeck sweater or something like that, which I think is awesome. I don't know if this sweater came out in 2020, when the world was kind of falling apart. So obviously Rhinebeck didn't happen. I don't think it happened. So I don't know if there was a Rhinebeck sweater that year, but this could have been a Rhinebeck sweater. Honestly, I don't know. If I was going to Rhinebeck this year, this would probably be my Rhinebeck sweater. I'm loving this. So, and again, this has no deadline. We're all just kind of tootling along and enjoying our experiences with colorwork and steeking and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm loving it. And I'm going to be sad when the colorwork is over, like I said. So, we love it. We love it. So finally, I have a little bit of a yarn acquisition to share with you all. I had honestly forgot about this, and I was very excited when it showed up in the mail. It was like, ooh, this is fun. I also, speaking of things that you order and then forget about, I have some progress keepers, or a progress keeper coming in the mail that I forgot that I had ordered. It was like a pre-order, so I ordered it like at the beginning of May. And I just got the notification that it had shipped, and I'm so excited. I completely forgot about it, so looking forward to when that arrives. But there was a collection of yarn dyers who had collabed and kind of gotten together and had dyed yarns to go with, or were inspired by, some of the new songs on Taylor Swift's new album, The Tortured Poets Department. I think that's right. Yes, Tortured Poets Department, and then it's Taylor's, so that's why it's TT. Okay, yes, I'm correct. And at the time, I didn't really know what my favorite songs were. So at this point, I do have a favorite song, and it is unfortunately not what the yarn that I got is, but that's okay. That's okay. I still love this song, and I love the yarn that I got, and it's still Taylor Swift themed, so we love that. I got the Alchemy mini sock set from Spectrum Fiber, which is very exciting. I've never knit with their yarn before. They are over in the in England somewhere, I believe. But these colors are just incredible. They're so bright and vibrant. It's just so pretty. These speckles are so good. Ta-da! And here's the information. Oh, they called it the Tortured Dyers Department, excuse me, when they did this. which I think is very fun. Unfortunately, I don't know if any of the dyers that were involved are still offering these colors. Or the colors that they made to go with this like collection. So that would take some research and looking around. But I'm very excited to knit with this. It also came with this little typewriter progress keeper, which is very fun. We do love that. I'd love to put it into a sweater. I think that would be fun. But also, we know it's my sock era. And goodness knows Taylor Swift would support any type of era. Haha. You know, so maybe it'll turn into some scrappy, not scrappy, but the like striped socks. Maybe that is a thing. But yeah, I am just so happy with this. I think it's just beautiful. Ooh, you know what I could also do? I made, years ago at this point, I made a mini Vertices Unite out of a mini skein set from Big Sky Yarn Company, and it was Mandalorian themed, which was cool because that was coming out at the time and it was all the rage, and which was a long time ago at this point, it feels like. But I used the mini skeins and I kind of plopped them in and made things work and whatever, and it turned out amazingly. It's one of my favorite Stephen West things that I've made. So I think that was a 6 mini skein set. So in theory I could just add 2 more, which goodness knows. I could just add a neutral, like a gray, or black. I think that'd be really pretty too, but I could do both. So I could do that and make a little another mini Vertices Unite. I think that'd be very fun. So, things to think about. I have a few other mini skein sets that I need to use. But we love color work. We love color work. And the sweater purpose, you know. Things to think about, plans, ideas, inspirations, things like that. Either way, I'm just very excited to have gotten this yarn, so we love it. Spectrum Fiber, the Tortured Dyers Department. We love it. Yes, indeed. So that is all that I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It felt particularly chatty and particularly rambly, so I do apologize if I repeated myself unnecessarily in multiple ways, but it happens. I feel very passionately about some of these things, and I just like can't stop talking about them. It happens. It happens. I have social medias. I have show notes. I have tech editing information. So all of those things are linked to all the various locations. If you cannot find anything, or if I've forgotten something, or if you just want to ask a question, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram. I'd love to say hi. I appreciate every single one of you with your likes and your comments and your subscribes. It really helps all the algorithms, because that is truly a thing, and I appreciate that little bit, the way that you can support me and what I do, besides watching, and it's very easy to do that. So You don't have to, but it is very appreciated if you do. My crafty plans are, they seem quite extensive, but honestly I'm just making progress, little progress here and there on all the things. I do have an empty pair of 9-inch circulars for socks. So, we may have a new pair of socks cast on. I do need to cast on the second sock of my, what is it called? The cabled sock that I was working on with the Night Owl Fibers yarn. The second one needs to be done, unfortunately. I did not cast it on immediately because I wanted to do something else, and it just didn't work out that way. But that's okay. So in theory, I should use those needles to do that, but I don't really want to. I want to cast on something new. I have a pile of sock yarn over here that's just waiting to be knit up. You know. Oh, the trials and travesties of trying to figure out what to knit next. What a happy problem. I hope you have had a wonderful past couple of weeks. I hope that you have had not bad allergies. If you suffer from allergies, I hope that you are well and not dealing with any kind of ailments such as a cold or any other sickness, whatever it may be. We're just plugging along with all the allergies and congestion, getting over colds and things like that. I have to go fold laundry. I have to edit this. I have some other editing to do today, so we must move forward. I cannot dilly-dally. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. I am truly blessed by all of you. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful, whatever they may be. Knitting, crocheting, quilting, sewing, other things, candle making, decorating your home, whatever it may be. I hope that you have much success. Is there anything else that I need to say? I can't think of anything. And I'm just gonna sit here and try and figure that out, but I need to go. So, with that, thank you so much for being here. You are wonderful. You are enough. And I will see you all next time. Bye.